Welcome to the Cosmic Vinyl. You're in the Cosmic Realm. You're here. You made it. Oh, I can't reach it. You guys made it. You're here. You're in the Cosmic Realm. Welcome aboard. I don't know if you guys can tell. It's a little darker in here. I decided a little too much light. I like the ambiance here, man. Plus you can see the lava and the glitter a little bit better, so I went with it. What's up? We're having a great time tonight in the Cosmic Realm. Alright. Oh, it's like a whoopee cushion. Alright, let's get over this goofiness. I mean, I get it. The goofiness probably gets a little grating after a while. I'm actually a pretty normal person. Anyway, this is, I'm kind of late getting in on this, but, it took me a while to pull together the records I wanted to pull together for it, but this is the vinyl tag. I believe it started, the quarantine, vinyl tag. I've been calling it the Q tag, man. It's the Q tag, dude. Anyway, Dylan, Noble Records started this Q tag, dude. And so, like I said, it took me a little bit to pull the records together, but I think I got a pretty nice show. You guys ready? Let's do it. I am going to take off my glasses, or my mind shields, and put my glasses on. Alright, here we go. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Let's get these fuckers off. Although they're cool, can you see? Vinyl community? Vinyl community, YouTube. What the fuck? Alright, let's just get to it. What we were listening to there in the at the top of the show is Tiger B. Smith. I don't know if you guys know of Tiger B. Smith, but this is killer. I love this. I've had it for a couple of years now. There's another this is their second album. The first one, this one's called We Are the Tiger Bunch. Gosh, I can't remember the first one now. God dang it. Same kind of artwork though on the front. Basically the same outfits. It was probably some leftover that they used on this from the photo shoot from before. But yeah, this is just rock, hard and heavy, psych. Just they are a wild bunch, I'll say that. So, but yeah, I dig this. Definitely recommend it. But here's what I'm recommending now is that I get my ass moving so I can show you guys some records before I make this really long. Turn this down a little bit more. Alright. So it's a 20 question tag. It's, usually we do these at the beginning of the end of the year, but, yeah, what the hell? The whole world's turned upside down. We might as well do things a little different. I'm all for... I don't need an excuse to show records, or listen to them for that matter. So, alright, let's get this party started. Look, I got my hippie radio station. We do have a local radio station here, 105.9. Radio for baby boomers. Whatever. All I know is they play all oldies, hippie stuff. So, yeah, I dig it. Alright, the first one, this is what kind of kept me delayed from doing this, is that the first question was, show a favorite record from your home state or like your town or city. And I could not find this for the life of me, but I knew I had it, and I have the other one, I couldn't find it. But this is actually a band from my city that got signed to a major record label deal back in, I think it was like 70. I mean, they were active between 79 and 82. The band is called the Hawks, or just Hawks, I guess. And they were a power pop band Of course, I didn't realize that, you know, back in the day, you know, when I was still in school when they got signed, all these guys, and these were guys, local guys that played in bands and got this major record deal with Columbia Records. I mean, how friggin' awesome is that? So everybody in our town was like super proud of these guys. These are all guys that went to high school here in my town, and in the middle of in Fort Dodge, Iowa, and they signed a major record deal with Columbia. They even had a hit. The hit was "Let Me In," and actually I think they had another hit too. I can't remember. It was on this. Oh gosh, I can't remember. But all I know is that they were at the time they were the first band that Columbia signed with an unsolicited demo tape. So, you know, the guys didn't send this to Columbia and say, hey, you know, check us out. You know, they got somehow they got a hold of some of the music that the Hawks were putting out, and they signed them. The band was practicing and rehearsing, and then recorded the songs in a little, it was a chicken coop, a brick building. It was an old chicken coop converted into a studio called Westminster Studio. And it's outside of town in a even smaller town than Fort Dodge called Otho, which has maybe 1,000 people at the, and that's generous. I don't think it's a farm town, so, but they had this studio, and they're fairly famous because Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys actually paid that studio a visit, thinking of using that for, I don't remember what album it was, but also some other big wigs that showed interest in the Westminster studio was Phil Spector and Todd Rundgren. So yeah, I mean, this is, and that, it's, there's still a studio there. I think it's called Junior's Farm, or Junior's, I think that's what it's called, Junior's. But anyway, that's there's a lot more to that story, but I'll tell you what, we were so proud of that band from back in the day, and they've been elected. I mean, they made the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and made a little bit of a resurgence. I think they even performed recently. So, okay, now we got to move along though. And I'll move a lot quicker now that I got past that. That was my local boys though, from the Hawks, Power Pop, and it's a great record. I recommend that record and their other one, their self-titled Hawks, and 30 Seconds Over Otho. Check them both out. All right, now moving on. Album that I highly recommend. This is so far probably the best album that I've bought this year so far on the 2020, and that's this Buzzcocks album. I friggin' love this. Now look, I was a little late to the Buzzcocks party. I mean, I knew who they were and I knew some of their songs for a long time, but I never listened to this album until recently, and I absolutely love this. So yeah, check this out, Buzzcocks. Power pop, proto-punk, post-punk, whatever, but this is superb. A tip for beginners. Okay, a tip for beginners, I took that to mean in the vinyl community, if you're making videos or whatever. So I'm gonna go with that. And I only say this because I can speak from experience that I got caught up in this. But a tip for beginners, do not get caught up in this thing like it's a competition to show, you know, the coolest records or grails. Grails meaning albums that are highly sought after, that aren't easy to come by, rare. Don't get caught up into thinking that, and don't let that drive how you buy records either. Like when you're at the store, get what you want to listen to, get what you like. Don't think about the vinyl community, and don't think about, man, I really want to show something that people, just show what you like, man. And I got caught up in that whole deal, and I was miserable because somebody else would always show something that had already showed that 1,000 times, or would show something way better that you could never keep up. So I just went back to basics, stuff I like, stuff I grew up on, and frankly, I didn't really think about it anymore, about what people in the Vine, because you can't please everybody. There's hundreds of channels now, so you cannot please everybody. So, but guess what? There's some people out there that dig the stuff that you listen to. Trust me. So just go with it. Number 4, first record that you got that got you into some deeper kind of music. That would be this record right here. This is Tangerine Dream, Stratosphere. Kind of. Oh, sorry. God, dude, turn that son of a bitch. It's kind of an ambient, kind of atmospheric type music. A lot of mellotron, a lot of moog, percussion. Just a really atmospheric, ambient. Great stuff to get stoned and listen to. And then, after I bought that, I started getting into some Vangelis stuff. I'm not going to take these all out of the plastic, but like this, Heaven and Hell, Vangelis, who did a lot of like soundtracks and stuff. Ambient music, crazy stuff, King Crimson, stuff like that. So yeah, just a quick example there. Obscure record that people may not know about. This is called Portion Control. I know the artwork is wild. It could have been used for the artwork question that comes later, but this is Portion Control. Psychobod Saves the World, and this is just really aggressive electronic. It's not industrial, but it is definitely electro, psycho, galactic. That describes right there. Psycho electro, galactic funk. It's just this aggressive, like a Fetus. That, I don't know if you've heard of Fetus, but yeah, it's hard to describe, but you should check it out. A group that you collect all their records or try to. A group that I have most of their records that are relevant are, and most of some of the stuff I don't have as the, what is it? I can't think of it. It's a movie soundtrack. I don't have that yet. But mostly I have everything by Blue Oyster Cult. And they are one of my favorite bands of all time. And this is Cultosaurus Erectus. So, but yeah, I'm a group or artist that I'm trying to get more of their stuff and working towards the full catalog is Alice Cooper. Gotten a few of those recently. So a band, number 7, a band whose second album was better than their first. This might raise a few eyebrows, but I like Kiss's second album better than their first album. The first album was just their self-titled Kiss, and this is their second album, Hotter Than Hell, which a lot of people don't like Hotter Than Hell. They say the production on it is bad, and it's kind of boggy and muddy. But to me, that gives it like more of a heavier vibe. More of it's almost sludgy. And I tend to think that that's the way Kiss should have been all along. They should have been like Sabbath with makeup. But, I still dig what they ended up doing for the most part. But, yeah, this album was definitely their hardest album in the early on. Hotter Than Hell. Songs like friggin' Got to Choose, Parasite, Going Blind. I mean, these are all songs that just, they're heavy and trudging. And Strange Ways. I mean, yeah, I don't care what anybody says. This is actually one of my favorite Kiss records right here because of the heavy sludginess to it and muddiness. So that's that. I actually thought Dress to Kill was their second album, but I guess I was wrong. Show and Tell a Whack-A-Mole. Okay, y'all are going to have to trust me. I am not taking the camera. I'm not moving it over to where my records are. My records are shelved. My records are in crates. My records are on... You don't want to know what it looks like. So you're going to have to trust me that I'm going over and blindly grabbing a record. Please, please just trust me. I am reaching, however, into my metal box, so I didn't look, I just grabbed, so let's see what I got. Oh, this is a good one. This is Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance. I believe at this point they were starting to break through kind of more commercially. Let's see, what was... You've Got Another Thing Coming was the song that I remember, and Screaming for Vengeance. Both those songs were songs that I remember. And there's the look of the band from back then. But yeah, Screaming for Vengeance. When I was in high school... It must have been high school. It had to have been. Yeah, I was still in high school in 82. I graduated in 83. But I remember I had the t-shirt with the album cover on it, and people had no idea who Judas Priest were when I was in high school, but I proudly sported that concert t-shirt. But yeah, Screaming for... This is kind of on their way when they broke through a little more commercially. I think the next album had like Turbo on it, and I don't know, maybe it didn't. I can't remember. Maybe it was Defenders of the Faith that was next, but yeah, great stuff here. Still hard rocking, still great metal. Let's see. What album have you listened to the most in your life? That would be this by Loverboy. What? God dang it. This friggin... Are you friggin' kidding me right now? Who put this in there? Friggin' Bay City Rollers. That is not what I've listened to most of my life. Even though, you know, these guys were like... had like this kind of teeny bopper vibe, and the girls liked him, and if you listened to it, you could get girls to like you. I mean, sure, who wouldn't? But this is not what I listen to. But I did listen to this a lot, though. When I thought about this question, I thought about what album did I have that I just played the doors off of it, because right now I can't give attention to just a single album because I have so many now. But I remember back when my collection was smaller and I was in like high school, junior high, and this came out in 80. I thought this was the be-all and end-all when it came out in 1980. I listened to this constantly. I mean, The Kid Is Hot Tonight, Turn Me Loose, Teenage Overdose, DOA. Those were... Looking for a teenage overdose. Looking for some rock and roll, I'll give you a dose. 1 foot in hell, 1 foot in hell, and you know the other's got to be... Sorry, I told you I listened to the shit out of this. Another one that I listened to a lot, probably more than any other album back then, was Fair Warning by Van Halen. God, the song Unchained, and So This Is Love. Killer shit right there. Let's see. Show an album with a crazy story. Okay, this is going to be just crazy that I'm even showing this record, but this is George Michael's solo album, Faith. You know, something that came out after he left Wham. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking about this. But this is a good album. It's got Faith and Father Figure, I Want Your Sex. It was kind of controversial at the time. But the story isn't so much about the album as that somebody that I knew that looked like George Michael. Now, the guy had the stubble, and he wore the sunglasses, he had the hair. Now, when we moved down to Dallas, me and all my guys went down there to be in bands, and we went down there to just party our asses off. Hell, we were in our early 20s, and we met all kinds of people. We hung out with strippers. We hung out with rock and rollers. We hung out with goth people. We hung out with punkers. We even hung out with a dude that looked like George Michael. Now, this dude, I don't know how he landed in our circle of friends. And I don't even know his name. We called him George. But anyway, he said that he worked as a stripper at this male strip bar called La Bear in Dallas. And, he would always, be he did these just as a goof, and he always dressed just like, he had the leather jacket. He looked like him. So we let him hang out, Plus, he always had credit cards, and he'd always take us out to eat, and he'd always buy us clothes, and he'd always do this and that. He always had money. Or should I say, he always had credit cards. So, come to find out, the cops came to our door looking for this guy, and because apparently he'd been jacking these, he'd get with a girl and he'd jack their credit cards, and he was buying us all this shit, and buying our friendship basically with credit cards. And there was actually a video, I think it's Father Figure, where it shows George Michael like this, and he's on the phone. And I remember me and my friends always laughed about that part when it came on, that it was George Michael calling to make sure the credit card would clear the bank so that we could get what we wanted. It's just hilarious. But yeah, and this guy ripped us off eventually. It was bound to happen. Anyway, we found out that we were looking for him. We found out he was in this low-rent apartment on the second floor of this girl that we knew. We pounded on her door. We were going to lynch this fucker. And we go in. We see him run through into the back room, just like on TV. All of a sudden, he's gone out the window. And we run out on the balcony. He's gone. He had jumped off the second floor balcony and ran away. We never seen him again after that, ever. He was gone. Took what I think he stole, like some of our rocker boots and clothes and shit. Fuck, he bought them anyway with his stolen cards. But yeah, just a crazy story that whenever I see George Michael or this album, it reminds me of that. So, God, I'm really gonna have to move a lot faster than this. So that's my crazy story album. Number 11 is collecting pet peeve. Pet peeve for me is I'm not really particular about a lot of things about collecting. I mean, I am getting more picky about the condition of, I always have to have good condition of the record. And right now I'm trying to get, good stuff like this. Now I'm concentrating more on getting good covers as well. Because I do have some covers in my collection that are worn. But my pet peeves are this, and I am becoming more picky. I hate it when stores or places put their price stickers right on the cover of the album. See all these little things up here? I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Those are price stickers that this guy that I buy from puts on his records. Don't know why I still have them, but I hate it when they put the stickers right on there. Also, something else that's kind of a pet peeve of mine is I don't like it when I go into a place and they made no attempt to do any kind of organization of the albums. Although this place I buy from locally, they're in no order at all. In fact, they're not even in bins. They're on the floor. They're just against the wall, and they come out, and these got like probably a dozen rows of probably 400 records each row. So there you go. And I have to go through them every time on the floor. So anyway, that's a pet peeve. Another one, and my biggest pet peeve, is not having enough money to buy everything I want in a trip to the store. Man, I hate leaving something behind. Because if I have to leave something behind, there eventually will be a regret story, and I'll have to tell it. I'm sorry. Let's calm down. Calm down. Let's take a drink of your ice cold Miller Lite beverage. The pet peeve is not being able to have enough money to buy everything in one trip. Leaving something behind. I hate it. All right. Number 12. An album or genre people would be surprised you like. Now, I'm going to show two things. First thing is this hip-hop record, Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers. Now, you might not think I'm into this, but I bought this at Walmart not too long ago because I do like Wu-Tang and I do like some hip-hop. And this, if you're going to like something and pick an album, Wu-Tang, this album, you cannot go wrong. Prince Rakim, Method Man, Ghostface Killah, ODB, Old Dirty Bastard. This is primo hip-hop right here. I actually bought this over Pearl Jam 10, which was probably ludicrous. I need that. And I will get that album. Something else you guys might not think I like, but I just picked this up yesterday, is this box set. It's got like 4 records in it. This is classical music. I adore classical music. Classical music can be, this has Johann Strauss, and it's got like 4 records in here. But I love classical music, especially for winding down. Especially if I've had some to smoke and I'm going to bed, I'll put one of these on and listen to it. So there's something you might not know that I dig. How about number 13? Record from the year I was born, which was 1965. So I picked this Kinks album, Kingdom. This is a nice little record by the Kinks. This has a Well-Respected Man is probably the best known song on this. But they also do their version of Louie Louie on this. And this is just fantastic. I love early to mid. I love all 60s music. So yeah, I love the Kinks early stuff. So yeah, check these guys out. Rat Pack in the inner sleeve there. Good stuff. Duke Ellington, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, Trini Lopez. What's up, Trini? Trini Lopez. Okay, what's the next question? Show a 10-inch. You want to see a 10-inch? How about a 4-inch? I'll show you a 4. Just kidding. All right, show a 10-inch record. I do not have any 10-inch records. I don't even have any 12-inch singles except for this one. And I am going to show it, but it's a boring show. I don't know why I'm showing it. It doesn't have even a cool cover or anything. But this is something I found for cheap to nothing. And this is Guns N' Roses. On side 1 is Welcome to the Jungle. And then there's a live version of Whole Lotta Rosie by AC/DC that Guns N' Roses does. On this flip side is a version of It's So Easy live and also Knocking on Heaven's Door live. So this is a cool 12-incher single. Nothing cool about the record, just black. So, but yeah, something I picked up for basically dirt cheap. So had to have that. All right, share an interesting fact about an album or song. Okay, how about this? This is Lonnie Mack, the Wham of that Memphis Man. Lonnie Mack this was released in '63. Lonnie Mack he paved the way for such guitarists. He paved the way for even a style of music. His solo alone on Memphis, which was a basically an instrumental, paved the way for what we now call Southern rock, blues rock. I mean, he was kind of the first to do that. He even took whatever Chuck Berry was doing, and even Dwayne Eddy and Link Ray at the time, and took that to a more edgy, more aggressive, more loud guitar playing. He basically introduced the electric guitar as a soloing instrument, something that you could feature like during a song to show off your chops. And if you notice here, he's playing, I mean, this is 1963. He's playing a flying V. This guy was way ahead of ahead of the curve. He also did a lot of work with what was called at the time a tremolo bar. We now know it as the whammy bar, and it became the whammy bar, tremolo bar became noted. It became significantly noted to Lonnie Mack because he used it in such a way that he had such a distinct style that they actually started from his song Wham. They actually started calling it a whammy bar because of him and his song and his style. So you can credit the whammy bar. I mean, it was already existed as a tremolo bar, but you can credit the whammy bar, the name the whammy bar, to Lonnie Mack, who guys like Eric, he opened the doors for guys like Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, Dwayne Allman. I mean, all those guys give props to Lonnie Mack, who should have been way bigger, like big like Elvis big, but only a few weeks after this album was released came the British invasion. So, sorry, Lonnie. But yeah, I thought that was a cool fact. So there you go. Number 16, an album with an animal on the cover. I gotta get moving here. How about a giant crab comes forth? This is on the Mighty Uni label. And yeah, this is like Psych. It's kind of a concept record. It's kind of goofy, kind of like a soundtrack, kind of a... it's hard to explain, but it's a great listen from the 60s. Psychedelic cover, psychedelic music. Check it out. Crazy artwork on an album cover. How about this? This is a bubblegum LP by it's Casanet's Cats Singing or it's Super Circus. Has a lot of bubblegum acts on it, like 1910 Fruit Gum Company, Ohio Express, Shadows of Night. Yeah, they did some bubblegum music. The Music Explosion. But I got this same album when I was a kid, and it was probably one of the first records I ever bought on the cover itself. The merits of the cover, and I just thought that was funny. It's almost like Mad Magazine kind of characters and little captions and stuff. I thought that was kind of a cool one to show. So, how about a really good album for cheap? I think this Split Ends album right here you can still get for pretty cheap. This has the MTV staple and new wave staple called I Got You, and this is just a great new wave synth kind of record. I think you can probably get this for about $10 to $15. I think I even got it cheaper than that. It comes with all different colored covers as well. But yeah, you can get this pretty cheap. Here's a great funk record you can get for cheap is Sly and the Family Stone's Greatest Hits. You can get that in any bargain bin. Another one that a lot of people don't like or don't talk about, or an artist, Billy Squier. This record you can get for less than $10. Are you kidding me? This friggin' Don't Say No album has In the Dark, it has The Stroke, My Kind of Lover, Lonely as the Night. I mean, this is a greatest hits album, a Billy Squier greatest hits album. This is phenomenal. You can get it for less than $10. How about an album that is an acquired taste? This might not be an acquired taste for everybody, but this is Ultimate Spinach. Shit. I can't get it out. I can't really remember. I think this is maybe just self-titled. I can't remember, but I just remember, the one thing I do remember is that when I ordered this, I thought it was the other one. Is that something about Beyond, Sea and Beyond, or something like that? And I thought it had Mind Flower on it. So when I got it, I was disappointed because it wasn't that one. But then I thought, I put it on and I started listening to it. I'm like, Jesus, what's the problem? This friggin' album is great. So I guess it had to grow on me in such a way that I was expecting something else when I got it, and it ended up being something else. But this is friggin' great. It's a good album. I love Ultimate Spinach. See and Behold, I think, is the other one that's got Mind Flower on it, and that's a great one. All right, number 19, the last one. Show your most recent find. Got this today. Haven't spun it, but I'm looking forward to friggin' putting this on and giving it all kinds of. But this is Leadbelly. It's a double album. It's got all kinds of great stuff. It says on here it's Huddy Ledbetter, and it's got this inner sleeve that's got a lot of talk. Probably gives a little bit of history on Leadbelly and his music, and then there's this checklist of different other great records you can get by these great blues artists and jazz artists. So yeah, I got a great deal on this. Not gonna lie, this was about $10. So yeah, I got a really good deal on it. Very minty, but yeah, definitely a great record for two record set. Leadbelly. I don't think this guy knew what he had at the store for $10. So yeah, Leadbelly. There's my. I knew it was gonna be long, and you knew it was gonna be long when you got into it. So don't give me shit. Just love it. Watch it. What? You don't have to love it. Just watch it or don't watch it, I guess what I meant to say. All right, peace, you guys. Have a great night. And great. Hey, Dylan, great thread, man. I've been enjoying a lot of the other people's input on it too. So, peace out, everybody. Have a good time. Blah 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 blah.